श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So after understanding the necessity of studying Vedanta and the importance of studying Vedanta and the clarity on why we should not study other schools, other philosophies. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. Sarva means all. Okay. Vedanta means Veda Anta, the end of Veda, end portion of Veda. End of Veda, end portion of Veda. Because it can be anything. End of Veda also is a Vedanta. End portion of Veda is also Vedanta. But that is not the meaning here. The right meaning is Vedanta means the essence, the gist of Vedas is Vedanta. The gist of Veda, which is the Siddhanta, which is the conclusion given by Vedas to us. Because why we have to qualify, give an adjective to Siddhanta here is there are different kinds of conclusions people derive through the Vedas. Some people say Vedas say Sankhya, Vedas teach only yoga, etc. So we have to qualify this, otherwise there is no need. So Vedanta Siddhanta. Siddhanta means conclusion. The entire conclusion of Vedanta. Sara means essence. Sangraha means collection. The collection of complete essence of Vedanta Siddhanta, Vedanta teaching. Now, Sara, essence. Like if you take a leaf and crush it, you find some small Sara there, essence there, the juice there. So, here also we are seeing a Sara essence means it's a small, only a small portion. Why we have to understand this is they are very brief, but they give the complete meaning. Sometimes when you are brief, when you are explaining very shortly, then people don't understand. Okay, brief can help you to understand clearly, and the same way, at the same time, brief can confuse you. This is one. Second, explaining in detail. That way, we can make somebody understand it clearly. If we explain it in detail, you can make somebody understand clearly. That is one possibility. The other possibility is if you are explaining in detail, they are lost. He said he spoke for an hour in pages, we say like that. In pages. I didn't understand. He spoke very nicely. He spoke very nicely. He spoke very nicely. What did he say? I don't know. So we don't grasp the teaching. So sometimes it can happen. Like if you say in brief, it could be clearly understood and it is completely not understood or misunderstood. If you are going to explain in detail, it is understood properly or sometimes not understood or misunderstood. So here, when we say Sara, it is an essence or gist, but still we are going to explain it in detail. That is why Sangraha, collection, he says. So, before beginning any text, before beginning anything anew, we do this in tradition. We have this practice of doing Mangala Charana. Mangala means auspicious. Mangala means auspicious. Acharana means practice. An auspicious practice. That is how we start any job, anything. Not just the book, anything. I was we have another channel, I Shastra QA, where I have explained recently about the practice of blowing off the candle in birthdays. See, we should love our kids. True, there is uh, no other way. There is that's the proper way to bring up the kids. But just because we love them, just because we show our love, does not mean that we don't give them any samskaras. In our tradition, when we begin something, we light candle and don't blow off the candle. So we have to understand these things. When we raise the kid, we have to inculcate in them these samskaras also. So here, Mangala Charana, that's more of peer pressure we do, but still that is okay. Cutting a cake is not an issue. This is an issue here. Mangala Charana, an auspicious act. This is done at the beginning of anything. You are saying this now. We have been doing some 6 classes now, and you are talking about Mangala Charana now. You didn't do anything. If you ask, no, we did. When we begin the class, we start with a Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. That itself is an auspicious act. We are worshipping the tradition, the Guru. And after that, we also go on to say Sahana Bhavatu, not Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhavatu. Sahanau Avatu becomes Sahana Bhavatu. Sahanau Avatu means let it protect, let the absolutes, that Ishvara, protect us both. Now, Asmakam, both. Means the Guru and Shishya. That is how we start. We begin the class. So, why do we have to do Mangala Charana? The first answer is Shishya Shishtachara. Shishya Shishtacharartham. Shishya Shishtachara. Shishya means disciple. Shishtachara means the tradition. To teach the tradition to disciple. Like we have to teach the tradition to the kids. The this guru's duty is to teach the disciple the tradition. How he has to continue it. Here, Mangala Charana. Okay, that is one thing. Is that all? No, that is not all. There is in Mahabhashya means there are different things. Bhashya means Bhagavan Bhashyakara wrote the commentary written by Bhagavan Bhashyakara Shankaracharya. That is called as Bhashya. But when we qualify it with Mahabhashya, when we say it is the commentary written by Patanjali on the Sanskrit Sutras, Ashtadhyayi, Panini Sanskrit Sutras, which is commented upon by Maharshi Patanjali. That commentary is called as a Mahabhashya. At the beginning of the Mahabhashya, Patanjali very clearly, categorically says the necessity of doing Mangala Charana. Mangala Charana. He says, Mangaladini, Mangalamadhyani, Mangalantani cha bhavanti. Mangala Adini, Mangala Madhyani, Mangala Antani cha. The Mangala should be in the beginning, Mangala should be in the middle, and Mangala should be in the end. The auspicious act should be in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Shastrani prathante. Mangaladi, Mangaladhyani, Mangalantani cha Shastrani prathante. They do the Shastra with the act of Mangala at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Okay, good. Why should we do it? That is the next question. So he goes on to explain Veera Purushani Bhavanti Ayushmat Purushani Cha. A person who does the Mangalacharana at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, becomes a person of valor and Ayushmat, a person with long lifespan. Do we do it? Yes, we start with a Sahana Vavatu and we end with a Purnamada, Purnamidam. That's also a Mangalacharana. Purnamada, Purnamidam is also Mangalacharana. But wait, the person who did this Mangalacharana, Shankaracharya, is dead. Yeah, you heard me. He's dead. The thing is, we don't have the samskaras. Therefore we don't know about the samadhi, etc. He has attained samadhi, etc. All these usages we don't know. We know if somebody is alive, we call him. If somebody is not alive, we call him dead. Simple. He is not alive, therefore he is dead. Simple logic for us. We see everything in black and white. No shades of gray. So this valor or this long life is of no use for the dead person. So why should I read this Mangalacharana? For that, he says, when he is alive, for him these results of gaining the valor and gaining the long lifespan. That is the blessing. But Adhyetarascha, next statement. Adhyetarascha vruddhiyukta yathasyuhu. Adhyetaraha. The people who read, Adhyetara means the people who read it, who study it, who read it. Who is that? The Guru and the Sishya. Vruddhiyukta yathasyuhu. They gain glory, they gain growth. Vruddhi means growth, they gain growth. So this Mangalacharana is done for the reason of gaining growth. That is what Mahabhashyakara says. The logicians have a different take. They discuss this Mangalacharana in a detailed way. They say, Samapti kamo mangalamacharet. That is the statement they take. Samapti kamaha mangalamacharet. A person who desires completion, he should have to practice Mangalacharana. Completion of what? Whatever you have begun. If you start a text, if you desire to complete the text, you have to practice Mangalacharana. If it's a poetry, the Mangalacharana also will be in poetry, mostly. If it's a prose, the Mangalacharana will be a statement. But that is not how the Mangalacharana should always be, will always be. Sometimes there is no Mangalacharana. Like we see this Mangalacharana here, but we don't see any Mangalacharana in Shakespeare's text. But they are completed. So for that we say, the logicians of course also say, that it need not be written specifically. Like we say, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, that itself is a Mangalacharana. Like that, before beginning the text, he prayed to God, saying, please help me to complete this. That also is accepted as Mangalacharana. Oh, but if you say that, then there are so many people, the atheist, people who don't believe in God, or people who write storybooks. They don't do any Mangalacharana, or they have a belief in God. So therefore, there is no prayer outside the book. If you say, then the answer is they would have done the Mangalacharana in the past life, because we accept the past life. So the Mangalacharana may not be done, may not be done in this life, but it was probably done in the past life. Mangalacharana for this text in the past life, is he a Trikalagnya, omniscient? No. The prayer is for the completion of his end or whatever he begins. That itself is good enough for completing here. But does the Mangalacharana, if you ask, does the Mangalacharana guarantee the completion? No. I was in a shop. I was asking, I was buying something and I asked for what is the guarantee? How long is the guarantee here? It's a Chinese object. So the shopkeeper sells all these items. So he said, guarantee, we can't guarantee if we live or if I live or you live after this second, after buying this. What guarantee can I give you for this object? I said, I know Vedanta. I am talking about this subject, this object. Is there any guarantee or not? That is exactly what I asked. Yes, no, over. I don't want lecture here. Anyway, so we we have a nasty habit of giving lecture for everything. I don't accept the the statement argumentative Indian, a book, title of book. I don't accept it, but to some extent it is true. So the point is, I don't accept the ideas put in that book. No. Anyway, so this Mangala Charana, you cannot guarantee because there are texts which have a lot of Mangala Charana, but it didn't come to a conclusion. What do we say about that? We explain that the book, the power of Mangala Charana, whatever power of Mangala Charana, that functioned for the completion of till that portion, the completion of that portion of the book. For further continuation of the book, there was no blessing, there was no grace. He should do more Mangalacharana, he should have done more Mangalacharana for the completion. That is what we explain. That is how the logicians also explain. Anyway, so Mangalacharana is a must in starting a book first for teaching the tradition to the disciple. That is the important foremost thing in Mangalacharana. Otherwise, we don't need to put it in writing. Okay. So, first, we are going to chant this Mangalacharana every day. Like I will be starting with Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. That's a cue. You have to be ready with this Mangalacharana. Okay. So, Akhandanando अखंडानंद संबोधो बंधनात् यस्य जायते बंधनात् यस्य जायते बंधनात् यस्य जायते अखंडानंद संबोधो बंधनात् यस्य जायते अखंडानंद संबोधो bandhanat yasya jayate. Okay, there is one thing. Akhandananda Sambodho. There is another Patha Veda. There is another reading which says Akhandananda Sandoho. Sambodho Sandoho. The meaning is not different, but the words are different. Sambovindam tam aham bande. गोविंदम तमहं वन्दे गोविंदम तमहं वन्दे चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुं चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुं चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुं. It is Chidananda, not Chidananda. Okay, Chidanandatanum gurum गोविंदम तमहं वन्दे चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुं गोविंदम तमहं वन्दे चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुं. Okay. अखंडानंद संबोधो वन्दे चिदा. We have to understand the Mangalacharana properly because the book is based on the Mangalacharana. We'll understand how it is based on the Mangalacharana, etc. later. There are two ways to interpret Mangala Charana. Any statement, there are two ways to interpret. Because some language accepts the subject verb object or subject object verb rule. Sanskrit does not follow the subject object verb rule. It can, in the subject object verb can be in all the 9 different permutation combination. There's no rule there. There's no strict rule. This is how it should be. And this is with the statement all. That also they don't follow. Even the language which follows that rule, they also don't follow if it is poetry. And with respect to Sanskrit, definitely no. Even in prose, whether it's prose or poetry, we don't follow any rule. It can be any which way. Okay. So, Akhandananda Sambodha. If you are going to interpret the statement, there are two ways to interpret. Anvaya. Anvaya means syntactical connection. Subject with verb or verb with object or verb with subject. Any which way, whichever is the proper way. That syntactical connection can be done in two ways. That is, first is Danda Anvaya. For people who are not very comfortable with Sanskrit, when they are doing the text, sometimes Dandanvaya is the easiest way to understand the shloka, the easiest way to interpret the shloka. Sometimes the book does not need any kind of any other kind of anvaya. Need any other kind of anvaya. First, we have to understand. Like I was explaining, when a son, he does not say Namaskar, Hari Om, they don't go any further. Vairagi means the Vaishnav sadhu. They also have different ways. They say Sitaram. See, some people just stop with that. So some people say Siaram. But generally, when a person who is very lower cadre and he is seeing a higher cadre person, meaning a guru, he normally says Dandavat Maharaj. Dandavat Maharaj. Dandavat, like a stick. Dandavat means like a stick. The meaning is, whether he prostrates in front of not, he says, I prostrate in front of you. Sashtanga Namaskara, we call it. Falling like a stick. So, Danda means like a stick. So, like a stick falls, we have to do Anvaya, we have to make the syntactical connection from one word to the other word, without going to and fro. Like here, Brahmananda Sambodha, Brahma Ananda Sambodha. Brahma Ananda Sambodha means see, Sandoha. If you say Sandoha, Duha Prapurane is the root word. Bodha, if you say, Buddha Avagamane is the root word. Buddha Avagamane, to know. Some fill. To milk also, when we milk doha, we use the word doha, duha. So here, Akhandananda Sandoha. Akhanda Ananda. Akhanda means Akhanda means non-separate. Absolute. Okay. Ananda means absolute. Okay. Because of the salutation, fifth case, Bandhanat, fifth case. Due to the salutation, because of the salutation, Yasya Vandanat, Yasya Jayate, whichever way you want to understand. Yasya can be connected with the person whom you salute or the person who salutes. So vandanat, because yasya vandanat, because of saluting whom jayate, one gains. So because of saluting whom one gains the absolute bliss. That is the rephrasing. Because of gaining, because of saluting whom one gains the absolute bliss. Govindam, his name is Govinda. Govindam, tam aham vande, tam Govinda, aham vande, I salute. I salute that Govinda. Who is this Govinda? Chidananda Tanum. Chidananda, Chit Ananda. Chit means consciousness. Ananda means bliss. Tanum means nature, inherent nature. One who is of the inherent nature of absolute bliss and absolute consciousness. Gurum, that Guru. I salute that Guru Govinda, one who is of the inherent nature of absolute bliss and consciousness. That is the second line. Now, when we ask, how do we connect, syntactically connect one word with the another? We ask, Akhandananda Sambodha, the absolute bliss. What is to it? Vandana, yasya vandana jayate, by saluting whom I can gain. Who is that? What kind of Govinda he is? Chidananda Tanum, one who is of the nature of absolute, inherent nature of absolute bliss and absolute consciousness. What are you being there with him? Aham vande, tam aham vande, I salute him. So when you ask a question, the second word normally completes it. Not always. Now here, it is not properly connecting. So we have to follow another way of a syntactical connection. Other than that, Mangalacharana is something which needs to be understood properly. It is not just this. This is the point with Mangalacharana. Mangalacharana is done for different reasons for different people. Here, in the first look, it seems like a Gurum Govindam Aham Vande. I salute the Guru Govinda. Bhagavan Acharya, Bhagavan Bhashakarasa, Guru is a Govinda Bhagavat Pada. That is what he is saying here. Gurum Govindam, Govinda Bhagavat Pada. He is saluting his Guru, Govinda Bhagavat Pada. That is how we understand from the first look, first glance. But that is not right also. It may seem to be a salutation to Guru. There are different ways to write a Mangalacharana. So we'll see all that, okay? We'll understand it completely. Then we'll proceed. Om Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti